So we're going to be covering impersonal pronouns in this one before we tackle adjectives. Josh, take it away.
Thank you, Dave. You smell great.
Thanks.
So we're going to start talking about impersonal pronouns by talking about indefinite pronouns. Now, these are indefinite because they do not refer to a specific amount or a specific person or thing. But what is really important to keep in mind about indefinite pronouns is which indefinite pronouns take singular verbs, which take plural, and which are tricky and can do both. So let's look at which indefinite pronouns take singular verbs.
So these are the singular.
Yes. All of these indefinite pronouns relate to one entity. So they use singular verbs. So you would say everything is.
Everything is.
Or someone has. And note here that a lot of indefinite pronouns, unlike the personal pronouns that we last looked at, can take an apostrophe. So you might write, someone's eaten all of my soy sauce. Who might that be? Probably Dave. Thank you, Dave. So remember, these are all singular verbs. All of these indefinite pronouns take singular verbs. Keep that in mind. Now let's look at which indefinite pronouns take plural verbs. So as you can see, this is referring to more than one entity. So you might write many are, or both have. So remember, these are all the plural indefinite pronouns. Now, let's look at the ones that are tricky and can take both singular or plural verbs depending on the context in which they're being used. Obviously, these are a bit tricky, but there's an important rule to keep in mind here. If the noun that the pronoun is referring to or replacing is countable, then the verb is plural. Now, if the noun that the pronoun is referring to or replacing is measured, then we use a singular verb. So let's take a look at an example here with the pronoun all, which we can see can either take singular or plural verbs. So let's write, all of the workers has or have gone on strike. Which do we use? On the other hand, we could also write, all of the sriracha has or have been eaten. How do we know which pronoun to use? Well, according to the rule that we just learned, workers, because they are countable, use have or a plural verb. Sriracha, as we can see there, 740 milliliters.
Delicious stuff.
Very delicious, and it can also be measured. So it takes a singular verb, which is has. All of the sriracha has been eaten by Dave. He's obsessed with soy sauce and sriracha.
Always. Always.
Alright, now let's move on and talk about reciprocal pronouns. Let's get rid of that indefinite up there.
Only I could find it. There we go.
Alright. Reciprocal pronouns. Now these are pronouns like each other or one another, as you see. And they are used when each of two or more subjects is acting the same way towards the other. So we might say, they love each other. Lovely.
Look at that reciprocal.
Fantastic.
There we go. They love each other.
So right now Dragosh is talking to Dave and Dave is talking to Dragosh. So they are talking to each other. And Dragosh is referring to himself in the third person. How embarrassing. Let's move on to interrogative pronouns. These are, of course, related to questions. So interrogative pronouns are who, whom, whose, which, or what. We might say, which laptop did you buy? Or whom did you meet at the party?
I met her at the party.
That is correct, Dave. And good for you. Now let's look at demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative pronouns, they verbally point at something. So we might say this, that, these, or those. So we might say, this tutorial is complete. Or these crunchy dill crispy minis are not going to eat themselves.
Definitely not. So we're going to end this one right here, and we're going to be talking about
adjectives.
Later. If you have any questions regarding counting or any of the material within our videos, you can tweet us at Notepirate. You can like us on Facebook to receive updates or to share any quick anecdotes about how our videos might have helped. And like always, thanks for watching us on YouTube.